So, good afternoon. My name is Brendon Livingstone from Equinox IT. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager there, and Mindi's going to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Mindi Clews, and I'm the Manager of Learning Services here at Equinox IT.
And today we're just going to cover a couple of questions that we sometimes get around the training activity, the IT training activity that we do. So I'm going to launch into the first question, which is, can I get a job as a business analyst by undertaking a course or certification? And before I hand over to Mindi to kind of get her thoughts on that, I'll just give a bit of context. So we actually received this question from Himanshu Jaisal, and on the Equinox website we've got a page where you can ask your IT questions and we'll respond, and he's filled that in. Himanshu is working in New Zealand. He has 6 years experience in sales and marketing and a background in engineering and computers. He's looking to move into a business analyst or project manager role and asked whether certain courses or certifications would help. And so let's get your thoughts on that, Mindi.
Well, that can certainly help. A course or a certification can certainly help you get a job as a business analyst, but it's absolutely no guarantee. I think in the market that we're in here in New Zealand, your skills and experience, and probably more importantly, your knowledge of the business domain in which you'll be working are more likely to put you at the top of a candidate list. And when I say your knowledge of the business domain, often business analysts grow their breadth of knowledge by working in an insurance company or in a bank in an analyst role. So your domain experience is often what will set you apart when you're applying for a role as a business analyst.
Okay, so some of the thoughts I had on this, so I guess at a very high level, there's a lot of talk around IT shortage, skill shortage, globally and in New Zealand, and that is, absolutely the case. But my thoughts were for starting your career. There's no real silver bullet, and some kind of lucky things need to come together generally to get that start. And so what my thinking was instead of so yeah, absolutely, certification or course may help. It probably shows that you've shown a bit of initiative, but it might not be the very first step that I'd undertake. And the first thing that I think I'd look at is understand a bit about the market at the given time. So in a tight employment market, then I wouldn't have thought that just doing a course or certification would be the make or break factor in getting a role, and it may not be enough. In a buoyant employment market, it might show some initiative, and it might help. When I say understand the market, look at the kind of roles that have been advertised and see what people are generally looking for, to talk to recruitment agencies and understand a bit about what their clients are asking for in terms of fulfilling the roles. But and Mindi, you'll probably know more about this than me, but my assumption would be that employers are generally looking at the whole package, and your certifications or your qualifications or the courses you've done is just one element of that whole package. And in terms of a business analyst, the types of things that they'll also be looking for is communication skills. Obviously, it's an important part of a business analyst role. And when you look at, say, for example, Himanshu, so he's got 6 years experience in sales and marketing, which is also types of roles that have strong emphasis on communication. So that could be a helping factor. Analytical skills clearly is an important part for being a business analyst. And again, for Himanshu, he has some background in engineering for computers, so I'm assuming that his mind does work in a slightly more analytical way. I think project experience is probably quite a big one, and even if it's not project experience as a business analyst, having been there, and one of the things I was going to talk about, and Mindi and I, we're no longer in business analyst roles, but we have both worked as business analysts in the past, and my when I moved into being a business analyst, the way that it happened was I was working on a project, actually quite a sizable project, and I was a training type person, and the business analysis team had a shortage, and I needed to help out for a little while, and turned out I was reasonably good at it, and the people that I was working with wanted me to stay in that role. So having that project experience and being in that environment, I think, can be a contributing factor. Team player, easy to work with, evidence of results, and if you have some business analysis experience already, then that will help. And so I guess we're almost, instead of focusing the question just on course or certification, it seems to me that it's probably more about a full scorecard for a person, and then it depends who else is on the market looking for jobs and how you measure up on that scorecard against those types of things with others.
And to add to that list, I'd say curiosity about how things work, why things are the way they are, and a determination to be constantly learning or constantly evolving. I think those are core attributes of a business analyst. And like you said, Brendon, you and I both moved into BA roles from being domain experts in the businesses that we were in, and being invited to participate in projects and proving ourselves. So for anyone looking to make a career move into a BA role, my advice would be start in the place that you're in and look for opportunities to participate on projects to improve or change or adapt the processes and tools that are already around you. Prove yourself in that way, gain some skills and experience informally on the job, and then look to formalising your skills and experience with a course or a certification or a collection of courses.
Yep. Yeah. One of the things that Mindi and I briefly discussed earlier was the IIBA, the International Institute of Business Analysis, and I don't know whether, Mindi, you wanted to kind of talk a little bit more on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are looking to learn more about the role of a business analyst and the skills and tools and techniques of business analysis, I think a fantastic place to start is with some self-directed learning, and I can't recommend enough the resource that the IIBA, the International Institute of Business Analysis, provides in the form of the BA, or the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, commonly known as the BABOK. Now, it is a subscribing to the IIBA does come at a cost, and it's well worth it for access to the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, which will outline the competencies, the tools and techniques of analysis, and in that way you can build your knowledge even though you might not be building your skills on the job. The IIBA is also a provider of the two most common business analysis certifications that we see here in New Zealand, the CCBA and CBAP. So the one thing to be aware of, though, is that the IIBA is changing its certification program this year, and they will be relaunching a new program September, October is what the news is in relation to that. So I expect that the services they provide around self-directed learning, around assessment and professional certification will change significantly towards the end of this year, perhaps early next year. And that there will be more resources available to people who want to study, to train, and to accredit themselves against the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge as a framework.
There is an interesting point there that both the CBAP and the CCBA, I've got that right, haven't I?
That's correct.
Are both require experience for you to actually hold those certifications, or to meet the criteria to be awarded those certifications. So they're not the type of certification that a person looking to enter the BA role could pick up. You need you need, for one of them, I think the CBAP, you need kind of roughly 5 years. I think it's done more in hours, isn't it? But I think it kind of equates to 5 years of experience, and the CCBA is less than that. I'm not sure quite what the criteria is.
I think it's 500 hours.
Yeah.
From memory. There is an interesting option emerging in the New Zealand market through the recently created ICT graduate schools that are coming online now in Auckland and Wellington, soon to be online in Christchurch. So there is a postgraduate qualification in business systems analysis that you can do as part through the ICT graduate schools.
Yep.
And that would be one formal learning pathway that if you were successful in passing that, you'd receive a certification in business analysis that wasn't experience-based. Yep. It is, like I said, it's a postgrad program, so you would need to have a university degree behind you in order to participate in that.
Yeah.
And those programs begin, the majority of those programs begin in July of this year.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say just before we moved on too much from the IIBA, in addition to the BABOC, is that they run regular events, so there's also a useful opportunity to network and meet people who are already working in business analyst roles, potentially might be business analysis team leaders, and so building that network may also be a useful way to just immerse yourself in that community and try and kind of work your way into a role.
And when you are looking for training courses to attend, then there are training providers like Equinox IT whose courses are certified or accredited against the IIBA's framework, which means that participating in those will earn you credits towards your IIBA certification. That information about the courses that Equinox IT has that are accredited against that framework is available on our website.
Yeah. So the kind of last point I was going to make is that we did a couple of months ago, one of our senior consultants, Jasmine Wilkins, put together a blog post which the title is How to Start a Business Analyst Career in New Zealand. It's also got a number of useful points, and so when we complete this video, and this video will go up on our blog post, then I'll put a link to that article in there, and that could be quite a useful next step in terms of some ideas as well.